If you want to. Awesome. Aloha, Mai kako, and thank you for joining me tonight. My name is Troy Andrade, and I'm a law professor and the director of the Lehua Scholars Program at the William S. Richardson School of Law. And I want to thank you for coming to our Lehua Scholars info session, where I hope to share information not just about the Lehua program, but about our law school and our admissions process, and leave ample time for any questions that you may have about the Lehua program, about our law school, and the things we offer here. So I'm going to start by sharing my screen and talking to you a little bit about why our school and the Lehua program is so unique and so very important. And in order for me to do that, I think the starting point is really understanding the namesake of our law school, who is William Shaw Richardson. And he was the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of the state of Hawaii and did a lot of things to usher in a new generation of judicial decisions that really changed the legal landscape here in Hawaii. And he did a lot of other cool things along the way. And so I like to talk about the Lehua program in our law school by really anchoring and setting a foundation with Chief Justice Richardson's story. Now, he was, as one of my colleagues said, really successful because of his personality and because of his place in history. He was the right man with the right time and the right tools. So what made him the right person? What were the tools that he had? What was going on at the time that really gave him this power to make long-lasting change in our community that really affects every person in the current state of Hawaii? So he was born over 100 years ago. He was born to Amy Wong and Wilfred Kelelani Richardson. Amy Wong was a daughter of Chinese immigrants, and that was his mother. And his father, Wilfred Richardson, was a Hapa kid. So he was half Hawaiian, half Haole, and came from a family of really prominent individuals in the Kingdom of Hawaii, legislators in the kingdom, judges in the Kingdom of Hawaii. Richardson grew up understanding the struggles of Native Hawaiians. He grew up understanding the intricacies of the economic system and the political system in Hawaii, and he understood growing up as the child and grandchild of immigrants, sort of the struggle of the immigrant community. And those struggles never left him as he grew up and as he came into the legal profession, which I hope you will all really consider joining in the near future. So he grew up in territorial Hawaii. He went to public high school, Roosevelt High School. He ended up going to the University of Hawaii for his undergraduate degree, and then went off to University of Cincinnati for law school. Why did he go away for law school? Because there wasn't a law school here in Hawaii. And so what that left was really a class of individuals, certain individuals who could become lawyers, people who could become doctors. And that was really the most privileged, those that could afford to send their kids off to law school and to medical school. But in Richardson's case, his parents, were both teachers, but they saved money. They rented out his room to be able to send him to law school in Cincinnati. And he thrived in law school. While right after he graduated, World War II kind of hit off, and he was enlisted in the military, became a JAG officer, and then eventually served a tour of duty in the Philippines before returning to Hawaii, which really changed Hawaii at the time. You had a lot of veterans back home after World War II who were, many were minority communities, racial minority communities, who saw the injustice that was occurring in the territory of Hawaii, where power, both economic and political, was really consolidated within the hands of a really small group of businesses and business owners. And so in the 1950s, this group of individuals, including William Richardson, led the charge of flipping the system, the political system, and united under the Democratic Party to create and ensure that they had a voice in the political process. And in 1954, were successful in taking over the territorial legislature, and then eventually in 1959, convincing Congress to make Hawaii the 50th state. And it was because of people like Richardson, people like Patsy Mink, people like Danny Noy, people like John Burns, that these changes were able to come about. So Richardson was someone who, from the beginnings of his life, knew the struggles, and kept that with him as he went through his own sort of professional and career development. Richardson, because he was so politically involved, eventually ran and became the lieutenant governor for John Burns. So William Richardson was a political player too, in that he became the lieutenant governor of the state of Hawaii. While he was lieutenant governor, there were, other aspirations that he had, and one of which was to really help to codify some of the changes he wanted to see in the law. He wanted to codify that in the judicial process, in cases that were filed. And so when an opportunity came about, he was appointed and confirmed as the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of the state of Hawaii, which is the highest court in Hawaii. While he was Chief Justice, he led the court on this very progressive, people often call it a revolution, in Hawaii jurisprudence, that is the law that's issued by courts, and did some pretty amazing things. He ensured that water was treated as a public trust resource. So no longer could plantation owners siphon away water for their own plantations to the detriment of everyone else in the community. Water was now something that was held in trust by the state for all people. All people could get access and should have access to water. He and his court were the ones that helped to issue landmark decisions about opening access to the beaches so that everyone could have access all the time, public access to beaches. It was his court that incorporated traditional and customary Native Hawaiian rights back into precedent. And so he really led this revolution in the courts, thinking again about everyone in the community and ensuring that some of the things that made Hawaii very unique was kept here in Hawaii and enshrined in the law. Perhaps his biggest accomplishment was the establishment of our law school. He fought tooth and nail, always with a smile, to ensure that we could have a law school here in Hawaii. Now, there was considerable backlash from the legal profession at the time here in Hawaii, who, again, were from far more privileged upper echelon of the economic community here in Hawaii, who wanted to keep Hawaii sort of the legal community isolated. And Richardson and John Burns thought, you know what, we need a law school here, because if we had a law school here in Hawaii, we could train lawyers here and give them the skills and tools they need to continue to make more effective change for the community. And in the 1980s, because of all of his work and because he really was the person that led the charge for this new law school, the University of Hawaii Law School changed its name to what it is now, the University of Hawaii at Manoa William S. Richardson School of Law. And so we have now here at the law school, 50 years after its founding, an institution that has provided thousands of lawyers and advocates and judges out there in the community. In 1973, there were 0 lawyers who graduated from this law school. Today, 1/3 of the Bar Association is Richardson lawyers. And that is a huge accomplishment for the law school, but is emblematic of the vision that William Richardson had to ensure access, equity, opportunity for everyone in our community to get that legal education. And so for us and for myself as a graduate of this law school, a proud graduate of this law school and a proud Ulu Lehua scholar myself, carrying on this mission and this legacy of Chief Justice Richardson is sort of core to my role here at the law school and our role as professors here at the law school. And so we carry with us Richardson's ideals and his values and his vision in everything that we do. And so throughout the law school curriculum and throughout the various programs and initiatives that you'll see glimpses of William Richardson. And one of those, and I am very biased in this, but I think the most important of those is our Ulu Lehua Scholars Program. So the Lehua Scholars Program was established in 1974. So it was the first sort of formal program that was established by the law school. And this was it was established in the second year. And so during that first year of the law school, there was a student-led effort that faculty got involved in to ensure that the community here at Richardson reflected the beautiful diversity of the community in Hawaii at the time. And so it started off as a program that was there to ensure that the law school would have Native Hawaiian, Filipino, and Samoan students. Over time, that has evolved. And so now we at the law school, through the Ulu Lehua Scholars Program, really look to diversify the school in so many different ways, right? That could be ethnic diversity, that could be gender diversity, it could be political view diversity, it could be religious diversity. There's so many ways in which we look at trying to ensure that our law school reflects the community out there. And so what we do with the Lehua Scholars, if you're interested in being a Lehua Scholar, is you basically fill out the same application for law school and you check a box saying that you're interested in being considered for the Ulu Lehua Scholars Program. And what it is it's a cohort of usually around 12 students every year that comes in, and you're provided with a lot of support and a lot of resources. So that can range from things like academic support to financial aid, additional scholarships, or just for Lehua scholars. There are programs and opportunities that you have that are generally not given to the other law students. And I don't know if there's a benefit, I think it's a benefit, but you have me as a professor throughout your time in law school, but primarily during that first year. So I pull the Lehuas aside and I teach you a core class. In this instance, it's tort law. I also teach you a seminar throughout the entire first year that helps to bridge sort of what you're learning in your other classes with social justice work, which is really what the program was intending to do. Bring in a diverse group that will help and fight for the community, every aspect of the community, from our keiki to our kupuna, from our LGBT brothers and sisters to our environment. And so the Lehua program has really, for now 49 years, has been a hallmark and some reference it as the crown jewel of the law school, because of the ways in which students are provided with support and a cohort and a built-in network of a community to really support your growth as a professional. Now, a lot of our law students, but especially Lehua scholars, are first generation. When I came into law school, the only lawyer I knew was my uncle's criminal defense lawyer, right? And I thought he was a sleazeball. And so I didn't, have the experience and my family didn't have the experience of navigating this profession. And so the Lehua program provided that opportunity for me to grow and learn alongside my colleagues, but with and from folks who really cared about my growth and my development as a legal professional. But the work at Richardson doesn't just stop at the Ulu Lehua Scholars Program. So we have wonderful, wonderful programs like our Medical Legal Partnership for Children, which many Lehua scholars go on to work at. And it's a unique partnership between the law school and the Community Health Center in Kalihi, where children are brought by their parents into this health center while the kids are getting their medical checkup. The parents are pulled to the side and they meet with our lawyers, our students, our attorneys here at the law school, and professors here at the law school. And they ask questions about legal issues. Are you having issues with your housing? Are you having issues with any benefits that you should be provided? And they help provide legal advice to all of these individuals while their kids are getting medical treatment. It's a fascinating, fascinating concept and a really impactful one at that, and something that the Lehua scholars get involved in. We have our Hawaii Innocence Project. We have a program. This program ensures, and it's a program that's a national program, but just a few weeks ago, our program was successful in getting someone who was incarcerated for nearly 3 decades out of prison because they were wrongfully imprisoned. And that's the work of our law students. And many Lehua scholars are there to help with the Innocence Project. We have our elder law program that goes out and provides workshops to our community. Many Lehua scholars are involved in that program. A lot of our scholars get involved with our Kahuliao Center for Excellence in Native Hawaiian Law. They're traveling across the Pai'aina, across Hawaii, to meet with Hawaiian communities who are looking for special types of legal representation, for access to water so they can grow kalo, for help with marine fisheries in their local areas to ensure that the community has a voice in deciding what can and cannot be fished, right? Our students are there on the front lines. Again, many Lehua scholars are coming into our law school to take advantage of those types of opportunities. And the same can be said for our environmental law program, which also does tremendous work out in the community. Another one of the pillars of our law school is our international law program, a Pacific Asian legal studies program. Many of our Lehua scholars get involved in this work, given the way in which Hawaii is situated between the United States, between the West, and between Asia, and another tremendous opportunity to get involved at our law school. Now, I'm going to go through some of the application process in general, and I'm glad to answer, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them. But in general, the things you need to have as you're applying is you need a undergraduate degree, a bachelor's degree, and it really could be any type of degree. I've had students who have been music majors, art majors, political science, economics, English. It sort of runs the entire scope. The key, I think, is to really pick your degree and do well in all of your classes. The other thing you need a test score, and that can be the LSAT or the GRE. And there are pros and cons, and I'm sure PAC and our admissions office could help talk through some of the pros and cons of those different tests. You also need to submit a resume and a personal statement. If you look at our application, we now have a lot more questions that allow you to tell us more about yourself than in years past. So things like, why are you choosing Hawaii, right? What draws you to our law school? If you are applying for the Lehua Scholars Program, you get an opportunity to submit an essay, another essay, where you can talk more about yourself. And so your personal statement should really be tailored to the particular law school that you're applying to. You also need 2 or 3 letters of recommendation. And my suggestion is, ask people who really know you, who can talk about you in detail, who know and understand who you are, who can address your diligence, who can address the ways in which you prepare for class, the ways in which you take initiative, right? I've seen, as a former member of the admissions committee, I've seen so many letters from really prominent people, really prominent politicians who don't know you, who don't know the students' work. And to some extent, those can backfire on you if, you could have gotten a way better letter, let's say, from the chief of staff of that senator, for example, who you worked with more closely, right? Who can talk in detail about the work that you provided. Now, obviously, you need to submit your transcript, and you're applying to law school. People who want to go to law school generally tend to have really good grades, generally tend to have really high LSAT scores or test scores. But at our law school, that's that's not the end of the game. If you don't have a high LSAT score, if you don't have the best grades in all of your classes, right? It's really, we take a holistic look at who you are as a person. And the Lehua program tends to pick up a lot of students who may not have had the best um, numbers, so to speak, right? But there's things about the application that just kind of sparkle off of the paper. You're doing things, you're passionate about some sort of justice issue, right? You've been involved in that issue for a long time. You serve as a mentor for other people. And so as you've progressed in your educational journey or your professional journey, you haven't been afraid to kind of turn around, reach back, and uplift other people. Those are the people that we're looking for at our law school, but especially in our Ulu Lehua Scholars program. Okay, I will stop there. I did a quick overview and am glad